Do you know what this is? This is a very mediocre game for which I paid around $20 US. Now, what happened here is quite interesting. Avalon Hill created an artificial demand for a game that is not good, but it has the Heroquest name on it. And what happens is that people want to collect it. There were not enough numbers of it, and some people that bought it is selling it now for outrageous prices in the second-hand market. It is not a big issue, it's part of the capitalist system and it works like that, but it still pisses me off, you know? It's something that should not happen. So on today's rant, I'm going to be painting something quite poetic. Commanders of the Guardian Knights, but not the original ones. Some proxies, because Hasbro f***ed up.
Today we're going to be talking about an issue that I'm sure many collectors and gamers can relate to. The frustration of limited edition releases that become unavailable and are then sold at sky-high prices on second-hand websites. As I paint these miniatures, I want to bring attention to a particular release that really gets under my skin. The Commanders of the Guardian Knights, set for the new edition of Heroquest. This set was highly sought after by collectors and gamers, and it's no surprise that it sold out very quickly. However, the problem is that some people bought multiple copies of this set with the intention of reselling them at a much higher price on eBay and other second-hand websites. This is pure scalping, and it takes advantage of collectors who are simply trying to complete their collections.
So the miniatures that I'm going to be painting on this video are proxies from Minis 3D, because I'm not willing to spend the $200 or more that people are asking for the original miniatures. A special mention here for the contrast paint called Garagax Sewer, which paints an absolutely fantastic brown that I have used both for the leather on the male knight and the skin on the female knight. But talking again about the fiasco with the Commanders of the Guardian Knights. There was not much publicity about this set being released. So it is not a coincidence that many of us followers of Heroquest didn't buy them when they got to the shops. To make matters worse, this set was never made again, so the prices on these second-hand websites became pure scalping. This means that collectors who love to complete their sets are left with two options. Either accept that they can't complete their collection, or pay the scalping fee and hope that they'll eventually be able to sell the set at a reasonable price if they ever need to. I tremendously dislike when any given companies create situations where scarcity is accidentally or intentionally fabricated. This shouldn't happen, and there are ways that companies can prevent it from happening. I am painting the pants with some of the new contrast colors, and the blues are tremendously beautiful. I love them. For the capes, I decided to go with reds. The contrasting colors make my miniatures pop, and I like my characters to stand out on the table. But regarding the miniatures being so limited in quantity, I have a few ideas that might solve the problem. This wouldn't be such a big issue if you would have, say, two different sets. One with limited quantities of special miniatures, which could be seen as collectibles, and another one without a limit run, which will be more mundane and available for anyone. As you know, I said it before, and you probably know it from my previous videos, I love using contrasting colors, and this means that I love using many times over yellow, red and blue in the same miniature. This combination of colors makes the miniature pop and be quite similar to the Middlehammer paint jobs that I really like. In here we're gonna use a little bit of LEVIADON blue because it is great for darkening these strands of hair, make them look like black hair but very shiny, very deep and very appealing. We are going to use a little bit of Druchii Violet to add saturation to the chainmail, the dark skin of the female knight and the recesses on the red cape. Using these instead of black adds a more interesting, more nuanced darkening areas in a way that they don't look as saturated and, you know, as dead as if we use black. Now we're gonna use AK Interactive Ice Yellow. Instead of using white, which is highly desaturated and it actually kills a little bit of the vibrancy of the colors, Ice Yellow is going to work perfectly fine to do those highlights. Ice Yellow works fine mixing it with any paint to get basically universal highlights, but we are using washes and what we're gonna do is glaze over these highlights. The air color of Angry Red is going to be used for that glazing, and we're gonna regain therefore the vibrancy of the color with just a simple wash. So talking about this not really limited edition that ended up being a limited edition. Let's imagine that they had done two different versions of these knights. One that will be always produced for anybody that wanted to buy, and a more limited edition. You could try to get your hands on the limited edition set, but still be able to buy a set of the gaming pieces for you to be able to play with the special characters. They might look different or have unique aesthetic features, but they don't actually provide any additional benefits in terms of gameplay. This means that those who are able to buy these limited edition items are essentially just paying more for the privilege of having something that looks different. Now, if these limited edition releases had the same gameplay effects as their non-limited counterparts, but simply had different aesthetic features, I would be much more okay with it. After all, it will be a matter of personal preference and collectors will still be able to use the same items in their games. However, as it stands, these limited edition releases leave out everyone else but those who are able to buy them. Let's not call this unfair because at the end of the day, it is still a game and nothing that we can call a matter of life or death, but it does become annoying knowing that you can't allow your players the choice of trying something different from what the game has to offer on its basic form. And although they have announced it recently that they're gonna re-release the Commanders of the Guardian Knights, some people have made a lot of money for a €15 or US dollars box that shouldn't be that expensive anyways. One solution is for companies to create more realistic and sustainable quantities of limited edition releases, rather than artificially or unintentionally creating scarcity. This will allow more collectors and gamers to get their hands on these items and would also help to reduce scalping. Another solution is for companies to offer pre-orders or reservations for limited edition releases, which will allow collectors to secure their purchase in advance and ensure that they don't miss out on a release. This will also help to reduce the stress and frustration of trying to buy these items on the spot. No matter what, nothing should be only exclusive gameplay-wise for a select few. Anyone should be able to play with different characters and heroes, even if the set they have bought is not the limited edition run. I also want to give a shout out to third-party companies that create proxies for players to use instead of official miniatures when things like this happen. And speaking of details, I have to say that these miniatures I am painting today are simply stunning. The attention to detail is incredible and they are a great alternative for those who missed out on the Commanders of the Guardian Knight set or who don't want to pay the scalping fees. Watch this video next, and if you haven't done it yet, consider subscribing to the channel. My name is Miguel, this has been Rust the Wash, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Un beso, adios.